Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark, they're speaking them facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Maso really did not tell you.
Next my podcast. What's up, bro?
But yo, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Podcast. I got my cousin here in the building. It's a family affair for this episode. Maso Cotton is in the building tonight. For those who don't know, former Virginia State Union baseball player, played a bunch of sports growing up. But before we even get into that, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's good, man? Thanks for having me on here, man. Pleasure to be here, cuz. Man, I'm all right. I'm just trying to stay out the way, stay cool in this weather, man. Enjoying life, man. Blessed to be here, man.
Yo, appreciate you hopping on, taking time out your schedule. Y'all know the vibes. Make sure you subscribe, like, post, reshare, and you rate us 5 stars. Anything less, come on, man. We need the 5-star. Nothing less than that. Starting off, I know, because I was in family, you played baseball, basketball, football. Why ultimately did you choose baseball? Like, where did your love start for baseball?
Ooh, that's a deep question, man. Shoot, it found me by chance, and then like my skills started to shine in it the quickest. Like early on, I was playing football early on, I was playing tackle, loved doing that. And then I had like a 3-year stretch where I could never make the weight limit to play tackle. You know, back in the day, they got like over a certain amount for your age, or they don't want you too heavy tackling the kids and hurting them. So I wouldn't be able to play. So what else was available right before basketball season opened up? Fall baseball be there. No weight limit in baseball because you're not gonna run over any of the kids, nothing like that, you know. So I was playing that 6th grade, spring of 6th grade, hit my first home run in Little League. Like just swing bat, hit over the fence. Felt amazing. Then got called up from our like minor division to our major league division a year early in 6th grade to play Little League ball. So I think that's what got the ball rolling. Like after that, I became like a student in the game, you know, before really like I kind of knew I was. I think I fed off of wanting to see people like me playing ball. So I think that helped. Like growing up in New Jersey, I was a big Yankee fan. So on TV, you know, we got Derek Jeter, we got Bernie Williams, I got Mariano. So those are the guys that most quickly I could see look like me going and doing the things I wanted to do on TV. So that was giving me some inspiration there. I think continuing to be good at it and then seeing results of my work right away. Like I was learning between, you know, getting my dad to help me out, joining every other lesson program or reading up, watching TV about it. I could learn the game about, you know, going to Barnes and Noble, renting books, reading up, learning about Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, all the greats, learning the history of the game. I started, you know, want to be better and better. I had it in my head thinking I wanted to be a student athlete one day. And I think I kept at it so much because I was seeing the results of my work pay off. Like I think baseball, it's a unique sport where like it's a team sport, but it's made up of like your own individual actions. You know what I'm saying? Like pitching, you controlling where the ball is going. If you hitting, you're deciding what pitches you swinging at or not. So like a lot of your own success in the sport, you can really have a ability to influence by the work you're putting in. You know, so that's what I was seeing a little different. You know, basketball, I'd work on a skill, but playing in the team, playing on league, I'm still having to wait till that time in the game where it's appropriate to use that skill. You know, I could go practice something in my head and then know I'm going to be hitting at some point every single game I'm playing. So I think it was fun I had fun putting in the work. That's what I think really, really, really set it off and made me say, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do as a means to try and turn it into a career or lifestyle if I can, or at least use this as a path to keep me focused and try and take it and get more opportunities from it. That's what I think made me choose baseball than anything else.
Now, with baseball, you mentioned basketball and football. What was the training like for baseball to be ready? Like, obviously, each sport has different things that you train, different things that you work on. So for baseball, what was it like training for baseball?
Okay, I think when I got real serious and said I wanted to do sport-specific training for baseball, I think that's probably right before start of high school. I'd almost liken some of the physical conditioning to what football players are going through, because the fitness is a little bit of the same thing. Football players, they do a lot of explosive workouts and lifts because your energy is coming out in like 10-second bursts from how long a play might be. Baseball is kind of like that. You're going from standing still to needing to make a quick step, make an explosive move, make a play. Every play is gone or happens in 5 seconds or less, but it's those quick, fast twitch muscles you're working on. So, man, we were doing, I'm thinking like on an off-season workout, what I was doing from a young age, ladder drills, agility, footwork, that sort of thing. A lot of hand-eye coordination drills, the training to like build up our arm strength and ability to throw and like have that endurance, throwing with like weighted baseballs and things like that, those sort of programs. Towards the end of high school and getting into college, when we started actually like lifting weights, saw that balance of doing explosive weightlifting exercise, but we focus, I don't know if a lot of folks know about baseball players, we focus mostly on like our fast twitch muscles, so stuff like your wrists and like your hips and things like that you got to use quickly. But most of like our lifting and training and stuff in that is like your core and your legs. Like some of these guys, I promise you, some of these guys playing baseball on TV could out squat or out leg press some of your linemen on football teams. They got strong legs, I promise you. And then like you can see baseball bodies of all types, but like guys have strong cores, like not everybody like walk around 6-pack jack or anything like that, but like having strong oblique muscles, strong chest muscles, strong back muscles, because like those fast twitch things you're doing, a baseball bat that's 30-something ounces, it's almost 3 pounds most of the time, like swinging that every day in hot weather for 162 games in the season. Our stuff is centered around explosive strength, and then like the aftermath is like endurance. So we ran a lot. I could definitely say that was a big part of the training, especially because like throwing any ball overhand, it's not a natural motion for your body. Like that's like gassing your car up and going to 60 and slamming on the brakes every time when you throw a ball overhand. So to keep that from wearing your body down, a lot of guys do ice, but what helps you like kind of get that out and condition yourself will run after we throw, whether it's running hits or like, I mean, what we used to do commonplace, might have a routine in practice where I was a pitcher in college, so I might have my throwing session in practice, go from there. Afterwards, you got your leg workout or any type of lifting session, and after that, you might finish out with like a mile run to finish the day out or something like that. Like, it may sound and feel exhausting, but after a while, you're like, no, I crave that sort of thing because it's how your body like kind of winds down and gets ready to go do it all again.
Wow. Definitely learned right there. I didn't even know on that aspect. And with that, like you mentioned pitching, were you always a pitcher or was that something that you transitioned into once you got to college?
Oh, no, that was a big switch I made in college. So that was like an adjustment I made, like in trying to see like what was best personally, both for my career, like twofold, like my academic and athletic career. So like in school, I was a first baseman, Got my honorable mentions, my conference, all conference accolades, all of that sort of stuff. Played second base as a sophomore, and I played first base junior and senior year. So I got noticed by my college, by Virginia State University, as a hitter. Came in the fall, hit well, but one of the things I did kind of as a secondary move in high school, I pitched, but it wasn't like my main thing to do ever. I just kind of get up there if they need me to. Doing the same thing during fall practices in college. I was all right as a hitter, but man, pitching wise, like shoot, some of the dudes who are juniors and seniors were having some trouble hitting the stuff I was throwing up there. And came around to our first season, talking with my coach, was kind of pushed with the option of either if I wanted to stay on as a hitter, look at either red shirt in that year and then face the task where I'm on our depth chart. We got, I think that year we had like a grad student, so senior on the field, a junior behind him, a sophomore behind him, looking at 3 years of riding the bench, maybe 4 with a red shirt to play one season as a senior versus that year. We were really thin on pitching, needed that, knew that was a way for me to get on the field, and then knew it was a way I could actually make an impact right away. So it was something I was upset at having to do. Like, I won't hold you. It was times definitely in the first 2 years where I was considering, did I want to transfer out somewhere where I could still play in the field? But I don't know. I saw it as like being, I was surprised that my coach kind of noticed something in me that I was like better in that spot. And then just kind of thinking about it in hindsight and thinking about it at the time, like, wow, it's not too often in any sport, save maybe for your top level D1 basketball, that you might see a freshman or even a sophomore having a serious chance of making an impact and playing a role to help a team win. So that was cool. So, I took my lumps in pitching as a freshman to be in position of 3 straight years after that, playing a big solid role in helping us contend for those conference championships each year after that.
No, that's something huge, especially as a college kid. You talk about freshman, sophomore year, to make the decision that was not only best for you, but best for the team. Like, the team needed pitching, like you said. You were able to realize and see it was thin on pitching. Now, no knock on it, but we see a lot of our athletes in today's generation will take that transfer route. Hey, I'm not able to do what I want to do, play the way I want to play. I'm going somewhere where it's going to let me play that way. So that was huge for you to do that. With becoming, a pitcher, right? What was some of the things you worked on, like, regarding your pitching? Is it the same in regards of basketball, for example, where a point guard needs to have a deep bag? Is that equivalent to, I need to be able to have a knuckleball, fastball, or was it?
I feel you. I feel what you're asking. Man, so what I learned, like, between just me reading up and then learning, taking my lumps, learning, talking to those who knew a little more about me, and then, like, knew a little more than me, rather, and then just trying to apply it all. What I kind of learned real quickly when becoming a pitcher, specifically pitching in baseball, man, has 3 aspects. It is anytime you throw a pitch or any pitcher you look at and you analyze, you really can kind of analyze and break down what they're throwing off of velocity, how fast or slow those pitches are coming, movement, how much they spinning, how much that is curving, dodging, dipping, and how much control you have. Can you throw that thing where you want to? And I always look at it and like kind of learn, like, if you don't have one, the less you have of one of them 3, the more you got to have of the other 2. So it was me having to learn myself and then learn to train using the tools I had. Like, some guys, shoot, their natural blessings had them being able to throw the ball 100 miles an hour. Like, I'm 6'2" on our website, 6 foot in real life, like 185 pounds. I'm not throwing 100 miles an hour. Hardest pitch I think I've recorded throwing might have been 85, 86 miles an hour. So I don't have the velocity aspect, but I knew I had movement all day and I had control all night. Like, I still got Virginia State's record, 27 in the 3rd innings going straight without giving up a walk. Like, I was just going to throw strikes all day. Like, you hold the glove up, I'm going to throw it there where I need it to. So I think what turned it into me, like, having to train differently than other athletes, I was doing a lot more long-term endurance strength stuff for myself. a lot more leg and core strength stuff instead of explosive stuff because like I was a starting pitcher. You one guy out there on the mound, 9 innings in a game, you expected, and it's hopeful you could pitch 6 or 7 of them. If you really balling out, let's get you out there for all 9. So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm gonna be more tired than the guys playing defense behind me because every pitch thrown, I'm actually doing something. I'm throwing that pitch. I need to make sure my endurance is higher than theirs. They got to worry about exploding. They got to be able to have their endurance up when they up at bat, they're running bases. I got to have mine up for every single pitch. I take one pitch off, somebody hit it 500 feet out the park. So I think that's where I got more specific into training to try and sustain myself for a longer period of time rather than trying to do explosive stuff. I know one thing I got in the habit of doing was like trainer at our school would give us what your both your out of season and your in season workout schedule are when you go in and lifting. I would try as best as I could to align the days where I might have a throwing workout in after scheduling that for after our lifting session. So I'm already tired, legs already tired when I'm going out there. Like I can't do the same equivalent that some of the guys hitting can do, like putting on a weight vest or putting on weights on their wrist or something to train that way. But it was kind of giving the same effect. I'm already tired going out here. I'm drenched in sweat, changing shirts 3, 4, 5 times. But come game day, it's a Saturday and it's 92 degrees outside, and I haven't broken a sweat till the 4th inning. It's helping me because I'm starting to see it where like overtraining. So I was doing that. If I might throw 100 pitches in the game, my most exhaustive off-season workout session might include me throwing 150, 160 pitches, overexerting what it is. And then, the hardest working pitches I'm throwing are those last 50 or 60 where I'm already supposed to be tired. So I would see it work in a positive way where I know I'm in shape where like during a game, instead of feeling tired and feel like I'm wearing down as a game going on, I feel like, oh no, I'm just warming up as the game goes on. I know it worked out well for me, definitely before my knee injury and all of that. When I was really cooking sophomore year, I had one game and they were just clocking my pitch speed as each inning went on the game. 7-inning game, still like 78, 79 in innings 1 and 2, throwing 84, 85 in innings 5 and 6. So it's like as the game goes on, right? Like I wasn't wearing down, I was feeling more and more loose and stretched out. So I think that was a product of that. Flexibility, I think that's something I started paying attention more to when I became a pitcher. That position can put a lot of stress on your shoulders, on your elbows, on your obliques. People don't think about that, but those side like oblique muscles, guys can tear those a lot and wear those down. Flexibility definitely was a huge one, doing like cable and band exercises. I had a homegirl back in school. She played tennis and she was real into yoga just as a means to like stretch out. So doing a lot of that, realizing that like, okay, you can use your own body weight, strength, and flexibility to kind of protect yourself against some of these other things. And I didn't believe a lot of it's true till like stuff would happen. Things would happen in games. I'd roll an ankle, and before that might put me in a brace for a week. Instead, throw some ice on it, and I'm good the next day. Kind of surprised at how that sort of stuff was helping you out.
Yeah, being a pitcher and just baseball in general, y'all have a long season, so endurance is definitely needed, and it's even more of a like respect and shout out to those players that play 140, 150, even 100 of those games. That's regardless, even if it's just 100. That's more than basketball, and that's just regular season. Don't make the playoffs. Some players, you got a deep playoff run, they might play close to 200 or more games in a season. So endurance, flexibility definitely is needed. I haven't seen any reports, but I love to see. I'm sure there's some baseball players that's on that LeBron status of they spend $1 million on their body. You got to. Like, gosh, probably even more, being that the season is so long. Probably even more. So I want to go back to college, right? What went into the process of choosing BSU? Were there any other schools as an option? And part 2 of that question, what was the HBCU experience like?
Okay. Man, well, part 1 for that, like, options, I think I had two different avenues of options. I had a set of schools that were considering me as an athlete, and then I had a set of schools considering me as a student. So I think the biggest other option I was looking at the time was big old Penn State University at University Park. Talked with their coach, and the situation was looking like they had recruited another dude. You know, you can get drafted even out of high school in baseball. It's just your choice if you sign with that team or not. Some guys still attend after. Guy was a high candidate to get drafted and was in a position thinking about if he got drafted, might have signed. If he didn't, would go to Penn State. Was looked at and was told with them, I qualified, could get in academically, and had a position where he was trying to call it a preferred walk-on spot where, you know, I'd be guaranteed at least the opportunity to be on the roster through fall practice. And that it was a deal breaker for me because I visit up there, took an overnight visit up there. I love the school campus and environment, but man, Penn State, that school is a town. That school is a town. Like, I went and did one classroom visit, professors there with one screen up. He got the lapel mic and 3 big old projectors behind him to talk. And I'm like, man, this guy's never gonna know who I am. Like, I'm never like that size. I love the idea of the size of playing in front of a crowd that size. I didn't like the idea of a college experience in that space, to where like I was gonna be worried that if baseball wasn't cooking and working out the way I wanted it to, I wouldn't be happy at the school at all. Like that was a big like deal breaker for me. Otherwise, like shoot, I was Delaware State looked at briefly, but I thought the area was a little boring. Virginia State, I found them almost by chance. We heading down to the family reunion, go see grandma now. Stopped by because we see the exit off I-95, just stopped by the time to go visit the school. And this probably ties more into the second question you asked too. What was the HBCU experience like? It was something that had me really sold and feeling like I took that visit August before my senior year started, and it was something that, like, it sticks in my head still to this day, years later, and was in my head throughout senior year as I was considering even other schools. We pulled up on the campus, walked over to the admissions office. They pulled over one of their grad students right there, and he just offered to give me and my family a tour. And, you know, the way he phrased it was different than any other tour, any other school I had visited before. He said straight up, he was like, hey, I'm going to take you through your tour, but it's going to be a little different. I'm going to walk you through this as if this is a day in the life of you as a Virginia State student, because I'm already selling you on the idea you're going to be here. So we're going to have you walk through. We're going to start at your dorm and show you where you wake up at. We're going to show you where you ate breakfast this morning at. You tell me what major you want to major in. Okay, we're going to show you the buildings where you got class. You want to check out the classroom. You want to say hey to a professor. They're here for their office hours. They're getting ready for some summer stuff. And I'm like, wow, this level of accessibility, this level of warmth, this is not no guided tour. We didn't pay for nothing online. We literally showed up on a Friday afternoon in August, and this is what y'all doing for us. He mentioned, he asked, like, hey, you interested in intramural or club sports? I said, well, actually, I'm a baseball player. I saw y'all had a team. I was looking at, I saw the field. It's a nice field. Oh, you want to meet the coach? Yeah, come on. 10 minutes later, sitting in the office, meeting my future head coach. I had tape of myself already on DVD from that summer, gave it right to him. Like, it was so accessible, so warm-hearted, and he was real upfront and honest. Like, hey, okay, yeah, let's see what you can do. I'm willing to give anybody a chance. So it was nice to not have what I felt was like almost like a smoke and mirrors recruiting process. Because prior to that, it was a lot of, I'm updating, putting pictures, putting videos on websites, calling coaches, hoping I can get a call back, dealing with this and that, run around, going to tournaments all around the state, hoping to get seen, like doing that kind of whole hoopla, trying to hope I can get seen by the right school. And I think what really stuck with me a lot too, that senior year of mine, the coach was calling me. I ran cross country and played basketball in addition to playing baseball in high school. Man was calling me during cross country season, asking how the races were going. Calling me during basketball season because he was checking our box score. I had a bad sprained ankle that kept me out for like 2 weeks in my senior year basketball season. He called my family's house concerned. Hey, is everything all right? What happened? Did he quit the team or something like that? And my dad's telling him, no, he's hurt. He's been out. Oh, okay, because I saw the box score. I didn't see him in there. Man, is everything going all right? So that connection there, it wasn't like he was pestering or anything like that. It was just he was really sold on wanting me to come be there. What that HBCU experience was like, man, it was a game changer for me because I feel like it was really embracing. I like tell people really there's nothing like it. You can't like it's almost hard to put into words unless you really see it or know somebody to see it to like know. But having like I can think of like the structures of rules even that they had for us as freshmen. You know, they had different rules, different kind of like they had like restrictive hours as a freshman of when you can have visitors, like restrictive hours and things on like when you can have co-ed visitation and stuff like that. You know, I'm thinking these are rules like, come on now, we all 18, 19 over here. Why are you worried about what are we doing? Having an RA, a black male RA tell me, you know, hey, like, you know, look at any other school that's not an HBCU. You know, like down here, big school, VCU, UVA, we got big schools down here too. He's like, hey man, you go there, you a dime a dozen. You flunk out tomorrow, they got 50, 100 on a waiting list that could take this school ready to pay some money, ready to be here. It's gonna take advantage of this opportunity, whether you will or not. Like, if y'all flunk out of here, like we not real, it's gonna take a minute for us to find another student of color who's got the wherewithal and got the skill set and got the means to be able to come and attend and graduate college. We got to nurture you. We got to appreciate you. We telling you no co-ed visitation because we need your black self to come back here sophomore year. We need you. We need you to thrive. So now we putting these directives in place to make sure you succeed. So that's what I thought. Like there was a high level of emphasis and encouragement for us to join like any type of organization. Like I joined a frat while I was there, but even just joining like it, everybody was pounding it home to us, no matter what your major is, join the club for your major. You know, you interested in anything, join it. You interested in sports, yo, join the equivalent of like our pep club where you go into like season tickets to the game and y'all having the foam fingers and stuff like that going crazy. Like, you know, you interested in business, even if you're not a major, go join the business club. Like everything was really kind of centralized around like doing it together here. And I really can say that everybody from like the teachers to your fellow students to like the staff and the people you meet around push this emphasis to you that like you important in the space that you were in. So I think that was huge. Like I always felt like I'm playing a role in how my university is represented or seen by the rest of the world. And then I think it's awesome that like whatever HBCU you attend or just attending one at all, you feel kind of like that family impact of everybody winning if y'all doing something together. Like I think like one of the bigger examples I could think of in recent memory, 2016 when Deshauna Barber won Miss USA. And she a Virginia State University graduate. Like I know Deshauna personally, like, you know, remember seeing her and saying what's up to her while she walking to class with a uniform on doing her ROTC stuff. So that sort of level, like HBCU Twitter and Instagram, all of us, like it's folks from Norfolk State, folks from Howard, folks from Hampton who are just as excited as we are, feeling that same level of camaraderie of we know that person personally to know this sort of thing. I don't know if you saw maybe a couple months ago, House of Highlights, and a lot of people were showing the president at my school crossed up in the courtyard. Like it is dope to know that like we've known him like that for the past 5-6 years and know that he is no different when the camera is on or not. That is him to the fullest. Like the dude quoted Nipsey Hussle at the commencement ceremony for graduation. Like dude's a real one. So like, I guess always feeling that like you have that sort of like connection. It feels like almost in the same, like if you working in your job and you on a corporate space and you see another brother working and y'all throw each other a head nod. You don't know who he is, don't know nothing about him at all, but it's something like, I see you working out here. Like that's how it feels even as an adult walking around, if I have a Virginia State shirt on, if I see somebody with a Howard or an A&T, anything like that, you feel a sense of pride in where you, what kind of raised you. You know, I think that's really a different feeling too. I think why so many HBCU grads keep strong ties, still go back, still go to things like, go to homecomings, still want to participate, still go back to, games, things like that. I think every HBCU grad can kind of say that they feel like an element, not just that they attended the school there and got their education there, but like they kind of transition from teenager to a young adult and can kind of look and point at some of their growth and growing up period as at the time they spent in that school.
Yeah. Every time I hear it, I definitely wish I would have had that experience. I was interested in going to Morgan State, but my Dukes ain't want me to be that far out. But I wanted to go to Morgan State. When I was there for my visit, at the same time, it felt like home, man. It felt, I went to a basketball game, I'm like, oh yeah, this is lit. This is something different. The cheerleaders, the cheer section, the band, I'm like, yo, I could get used to this. What? This? Oh yeah, this is lit. And it's dope too with your experience, how it was organic and it was natural, the recruitment process, and it was actual true interest. There's not a lot of coaches that's doing that. And you hear it when the players that get to the school and like, yo, me and this coach, this was really good, because they do the stuff like that. Hey, how's basketball going? How's cross country going? How's your family doing? Those type of things separate just the regular coaches to you talking about coaches that become somewhat family, somewhat father, mother figures to you because they actually cared about what was going on. And that whole HBCU experience, they care about you. From everybody I've heard, we had somebody on here from VSU earlier this year, Claude Thomas, that played football, and he explained the same thing. It was just like a genuine, actual care that we want to see you succeed. And I gotta attest, those bigger schools, it's kind of like I attested to basically like if you go to a mega church, right? Are you gonna get that same attention and that same type of love? They probably don't know you at a mega church. At one of those big churches, 100,000 people there. No knock on them, no knock on the big universities, no knock on the big churches, but they not gonna know you're not gonna probably get that same type of attention that you want from the more close-knit family type of atmospheres where the show cheers, everybody know your name.
Yeah, it's exactly how it was, man. Exactly how it was. Like, shoot, like every faculty and staff member that I dealt with was probably 2-3 degrees removed from being able to have a conversation with my coach or with the athletic director. Everything was tight knit. And I mean, I wouldn't even say, like, you could find that tight knit environment, even if the size of the school doesn't really tell you tight knit. Like, State was kind of small when I was there. Maybe just a hair under 10,000 kids around the time I was there. But I'm sure if you talk to anybody that goes to Howard, goes to Hampton, goes to Norfolk State, any of these schools that have about 15,000 kids up in there that are big enough to where like you don't see the same face every day, you can still get a group of people around there. They still know a professor by name. They still know certain things about it, but they still feel a lot of that family level there. Like, you're right. Like it's different when you feel like the atmosphere cares about you, and therefore you should care about it. You should care about contributing back to it. It's different.
And in your opinion, right? Because you did both sides, you pitched, you hit. What's the hardest pitch to hit in your opinion?
I feel like it varies off of a pitcher, but I mean, I feel like a good breaking ball. Like, you might hear some guys throwing a curve ball, some guys throwing a slider. Both of those are breaking pitches, like, because like they just always refer to that because they break off of what we consider like a straight line trajectory of what you see a normal ball going. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes it more difficult to hit, because like, man, hitting is all about like hitting is. It looks harder than it is I mean, it's not to say it's easy. It looks harder than it is, but the guys who are good at it are able to do it because hitting is really a lot of aligning your mind, eyes, and body with timing. You know, timing your body to do a set of actions. The rest of it is just muscle memory and repetition. That's why the good hitters, their swing looks the same no matter where the pitch is in the zone. It's just them timing it up. Pitching and throwing good pitches is all about just disrupting that timing. So that's why I say a good breaking ball is tough because it can get you one of two ways. You know, guys that throw fastballs and they can get you by the speed. They can throw change-ups and it might be slower and they can get you off, you know, change of speed. Breaking balls, they could do both to you. You know, I could throw a curveball or a slider and it can trick a hitter by disrupting his timing, or it can trick a hitter by disrupting his alignment with where he's swinging, you know, in the pit. You know, guys are swinging and missed. They swung and their timing was correct, but you missed the ball because it broke away from where you were swinging. And then, I think it requires you to have to do a lot because, like, from a hitter's perspective, if a ball is most pitches coming to you got backspin, you know, you can see it spinning the other way, like away from you, it's coming, knowing it's going to be on a straight line. Breaking pitches, since most pitches have to like kind of snap or roll your fingers or have your fingers on top of the ball, it's going to create topspin when the ball is coming to you. So you have like a split second to be able to identify that a different pitch is coming. Most of the time, like it's easier to tell your body to slow down than it is to tell yourself to speed up. So you kind of go up as a hitter preparing to hit fastballs and telling yourself, if it's not a fastball, I'm gonna just slow myself up a little bit because it's too hard to speed yourself up. By the time you recognize it is fast, it's already by you. So it's hard because it requires you while preparing for a fastball, just in case, to look at that pitcher's hand, identify any changes in his windup or his release point. Hopefully you can, it's a hard, subtle difference between seeing this and seeing like kind of his fingers on the top of the ball from 60 feet away. Noticing that the initial ball is coming out, identifying and seeing that you're seeing the ball rotate and have topspin, preparing for that ball to break, and then preparing your swing to meet the ball exactly where it's going to break. I mean, most hitting coaches will tell you just not to even swing at a good breaking ball unless you got 2 strikes on you and you ain't got no other choice. But I definitely say that's the hardest pitch to hit because, like, it's hard to practice how to hit it. You know what I mean? That's what I think is so hard about it. And then you get a good pitcher throwing a good pitch at the right time, like after throwing you a couple fastballs and get your timing all right, you're going to feel stupid as a hitter.
I got 2 more before we transition to With the Quickness segment. Again, thank you for hopping on with us. What's your thoughts, especially you're a pitcher, what's your thoughts on the recent news and the reports that came out that pitchers are using spider tack this season? What's your take on that as a pitcher?
Yo, I understand it, and I need them to do a couple things with the baseballs, man. Like, that's an equipment issue. Like, man, I wish I had a couple and I could, like, show an example. But, like, Major League Baseballs, the problem is, like, the seams on the baseball are not really raised up that well. And, like, shoot, you as a hooper, you can understand, like, okay, pitchers are going through the same issue. Remember when we was younger and they switched the basketballs for, like, a season, but everybody was getting paper cuts and they switched it back. That's what we're dealing with as pitchers. You need a little bit of friction. You see LeBron and a lot of those guys go for the rosin, go for the chalk, because like any sort of sweat on your fingers while you're trying to grip a ball, you don't need that. We got that rosin bag behind the mound for that. But like we have to do everything we can to get a grip because that ball is like you grip it too tight and your fingers will slip on the ball. The red seams on the baseball do not poke out enough. Like they're a little different in high school and college, but in major leagues, man, they are almost like sunk into the ball. And a lot of that is because they want the ball to travel further. Like the closest something is to a perfectly round object, it's not going to get affected by wind and stuff. So that's why these guys can hit the ball 500 something feet. Problem is for us, we can't get a grip on it to throw, like I was mentioning, those good breaking balls so the guys don't hit it 500 something feet. So like, I mean, my eligibility is done now, so I could like, I ain't afraid to like disclose what I was doing, but like a lot of guys, we would doctor up the ball to try and do what we can to get a grip on it. Like the balls were kind of glossy in college. I know I'd had times where like I'd keep a pumice stone, like what you used to like get the dead skin off like your hands and feet. Like I'd cut the handle off that, like break that off, had it in my back pocket so I could just rub the baseball against it like through my pants. It would scuff up or scar up a glossy side of the baseball, but that would give me an extra grip point to hold fingers at when trying to throw a breaking ball. I seen guys do everything up in there. Vaseline to try and get a better grip. Spider tack. Spider tack, I think it's the same stuff they like rock climbers be using. Like, and you need that. You add that with a little bit of the rosin, like you good to bare hand some stuff all day long. You need that. I would like to see them either edit the baseball. They got to do something to change the baseballs, or you're gonna see a company pop up or like some sort of change with like some list of acceptable substances. Because like what's going to end up happening, you're going to have more and more pitchers end up not just being not as effective, but straight up getting hurt. Because you're going to have guys trying to overcompensate. You know, if I can't get a grip on the baseball, I'm going to grip the heck out of the baseball and grip it even tighter and try and force my arm more to make that movement. You know, or if you imagine, I don't know if in the basketball world, if this may make sense or not, but I could see if all of a sudden the NBA players had to switch to a basketball that was 1 pound heavier, we might somehow see a whole lot more wrist injuries. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not a huge difference, but it's just something that subtle tweak in the way you have like trained yourself in. When again you changing the equipment, man, you're gonna change the players.
Wow. For our listeners, you just learned something right there about the baseballs. A lot of people, you know, I'm sure you saw like, oh, here we go again. It's another cheating scandal. Pitchers is cheating, this, that, and the third. But for somebody that actually plays baseball, hearing that explanation, you can't knock it. Like you mentioned, with the basketballs changing, a lot of people that complain, point guards, y'all got to bring that back. Y'all got to change the basketballs back. Or in general, the players that had the ball in their hands a lot. LeBron, no.
And then you could see those guys having the ball in their hand is essential to the way they play the game. That's their whole career at that point. If I can't get my handles right, that's my career. With these pitchers, their desperation is saying like, yo, spider tag, anything else. You know, my one time on the mound, shoot, that batter, he might get 3 or 4 games before the team gives up on him and his contract. I might get one chance and one chance only. If I don't do it here, I'm bagging groceries next week. I need to do everything I can to make sure I'm the best version of myself out here.
Yeah, that pitchers are on, I think, a way shorter lease unless you're, you know, obviously the likes of Roger Clemens and CC Sabathia. Like the New York media was complaining about CC for years, but CC still was on that mound regardless.
Every fifth day.
Once you build that cachet, you build that reputation, that leash becomes on like, all right, we're going to keep CC out there. All right, we're going to keep Roger Clemens out there. We're going to keep Randy Johnson out there.
Yo, baseball puts its money into consistency, man. I'm telling you, you can go down the street, go watch you like a Somerset Patriots or a Newark Bears game. That talent level, I promise you, is the same exact. Every single one of them players on that field could go hit the pitching that the New York Yankees got today. The difference is just like those minor league players, if they might slump, and their slump means they didn't get a hit for 2 weeks. A major league player, his slump means he didn't get a hit for 2 days, and he's back at it still producing. So that's what the difference, like that's just let you know how freakishly good these guys are that are on the top level getting those millions, man. Like they are getting paid for the fact that like, don't matter what time zone, what part of the world you put me in, I can hop out of bed and hit that ball 500 feet. Like it's they got a freakish level of training and dedication to their craft, man.
Yeah, I think that's sports across the board. The people that do it every single night, away, home, that's where it separates the person that's playing in the G League. The person in the G League might have a good game. They might got 35. In the next couple games, they only around 10 or 12.
Yup, you feel it.
That's where you see where the people complain now, and I can get it. once you get to that level, they expect that consistency. You
Every
can't be
single day, right?
and people are human and people go through slumps, like you said, but you can't drop 45 one night and then the next 5 games you only averaging 12. And that's where it's like, all right, so you can't be a starter. You can't get major minutes.
We can't trust you to be out here because we don't know which version of you we gonna get.
And that's where people, that's a whole other conversation. That's where people have a lot of their issue with Paul George, but that's a whole episode. When we get you in Jersey or when I go down there, we're gonna have the equipment, we're gonna do it in person.
Yeah, that's a setup, that's a whole breakdown.
That's a whole nother breakdown. Last one before we transition to With the Quickness segment, which is basically some rapid fire questions or whatnot, but we call it With the Quickness, made it our own. One piece of advice you give to someone who wants to pursue baseball at that collegiate, at pro level.
Even though it sounds like coaches be talking BS when they say it, get your grades right first, and then the opportunities will open up. And I say that through the experience I had. Like, people like to throw the numbers out there and make it sound like it's difficult or like there aren't enough open opportunities for every ambitious player out there. I promise you there are. It's just like, there's so many schools out there looking for players, and this is like any sport, regardless, like just baseball. There's so many schools out there that need players. Just like we got a limited scope of the schools we might see or know about, they got a limited scope of the players they might see or hear about. So like, it's almost like if you really want to be able to like put the legs to the grind and like say, yo, I know, I tell anybody, if you want to be like a college athlete, like, make sure your grades are straight so nobody ends up hitting you with some, hey, you can't qualify here, or hey, your test score wasn't this or that, because it's like that. They already are some, like, unfortunately, like biased measurement tools people are using. But I'm like, man, you just get them out the way so you can sit in the room, have a conversation, be telling these schools, yo, what can you do for me? Sort of like next stage of business. You're not over here like at the mercy of them needing to give you a full athletic scholarship, because like what I found out when I was going to state, like 75% of my scholarship was my grades. The coach was so excited to have me go there because I was saving him money and being a good player and stuff. Like, not knowing out here, like, there are guys literally on some of these D1 Clemson football teams who they are full ride scholarship guys, but they are a full ride like academic scholarship. Dabo Swinney don't got to pay them dollars, so he loves having them out there, especially like, you got the same ticket in as everybody else. And I think like knowing it, like, okay, if you know your grades and then know like what you feel like you want to study, what you kind of picturing, yo, regardless, whenever my career is said and done, what do I feel like I want to enjoy doing? Picking your school and your environment off of that. Because like, if you love the game enough and have a good time enough, bro, these college coaches, you're going to run into plenty of them who know their stuff and going to help make you a better player. You going to be, it sounds like almost wild to think about, but like, you'll be a better player overall and better person overall at an environment where you love all of the stuff going on there outside of when you're on the field or in the court or at practice. It's going to make you go that much harder when you pull up at practice or at the field. So like, you know, it's like some guys, like if you're sitting there like top level program, but they treating you like, you know, you just a dime a dozen versus a program that hasn't won many games over the past few years, but you the hot commodity prospect. Yo, go over there. Go over there. That's the place that's going to nurture your growth, make you the best player out here. You look at the league now. Nobody cares about how far Dame Lillard advanced in the NCAA tournament. Like, you see what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sort of stuff. You go to the best place that's going to be the best fit for you. And if you being the best, you going to shine, and people are going to see you. Like, we got an internet world now where like, yo, you get hot at the right time. You can go viral from anywhere in this country, man. Don't like a big name is nothing anymore.
Real recognize real. Last segment with the quickness. Ask you some questions, whatever comes to your head first. First one is something real simple. What's your go-to meal?
Go to what?
Go-to meal.
Ooh, salmon with the brown rice.
Oh, okay. Super healthy. All right.
Yeah.
I know you're a big music guy. What's in your musical rotation right now?
Who am I listening? I mean, I keep hustling there forever. RP Nip Hustle. What I've been listening to lately, that new Migos been crazy. That's been in the rotation. Who else I've been jamming, man? Shoot. Waiting on this next Davies project come out. Davies go hard. And it been on the West Coast mix, man. G Perico go hard. Dom Kennedy been my dude waiting on that next project to drop. And then all the Griselda crew. The Griselda dude, crazy. Benny the Butcher.
The Butcher's coming.
Conway, all of them, bro. Yo, that's in the gym all day. Could listen to Benny all day. That's in the rotation, yeah.
Oh yeah, Benny. That's my favorite one out of Griselda, bro. Benny got bars.
Facts.
Bars. I know you're a big Nip guy, so I gotta ask. Top 3 Nipsey songs.
Rap Niggas, Million While You Young, and the first Blue Laces.
Okay.
Blue Laces 1. Yeah.
I know you're a Broncos fan, so starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos will be
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy B, yeah. Teddy B with the gloves.
All right, so finish this statement, right? Show how Otani is
a trendsetter. Man, yo, because there's been some cold two-way athletes in this game for a minute. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing because he's about to set the trend for the next set of players on the come up. And I'm excited watching right now at home. Like, I want to pitch and hit. I'm not choosing either. I'm like, yo, he's about to change the game, bro. We about to have positionless baseball the same way we did positionless basketball. That's what I love it.
That would be dope, bro. That would be
guys getting drafted and it's like, oh, he's a pitcher outfielder. Oh, this guy a catcher and a shortstop. Like, we gonna be moving. They gonna be changing the rules on substitutions and stuff soon. I'm like, yo, I love it because these athletes are too good. Like the fans are the ones really winning. We getting to watch them do all this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I'm always trying to see some better competition.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of baseball pitchers.
Mount Rushmore pitchers, 4 Crane, 4. My Mount Rushmore, so it might, like, they ain't the 4 like winningest or best, but like the 4 that I think are the coldest. Pedro Martinez, Greg Maddux, that's 2. Satchel Paige, and Mariano. Mariano Rivera.
Mariano.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't think nobody can argue with that list, but nobody better not say nothing about Mariano. Don't say
nothing about Mariano.
Don't say nothing about Mariano. MJ or Braun?
I can't pick it either. I just gotta say my statement. Michael is forever in my life going to be the most important basketball player of all time. I don't ever want to hear no arguments about Michael being the most important. But I'm like, my unpopular, if we talking pure skill at this game of basketball, LeBron James, the greatest basketball player I've ever seen that they pick up pick up a ball and do anything with it on the court. LeBron James.
Hey,
I gotta say,
can't argue with that at all. And I think that's a good way to put it. Like, you got to give flowers and respect to MJ.
Exactly. Like, I can't even say they 1A and 1B. That's 1A and 1A. But I'm like, ooh, like,
I think it depends what you need for your team, what you want.
6'8" point guard skills. He gonna be our all-time leading scorer, and scoring is not even his best skill. LeBron, I'm sorry. Like, if they, like, I told one of my mans, like, yo, if they was both 20 years old coming out of college with the projectability of what we saw them to become, and we just saw them both in a combine, who are you picking first? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm picking LeBron because he got 70 pounds and 3 inches on you, Michael. Like, I'm picking that too. Like, just as fast, he jumped just as high as you. I'm picking him. Like,
yeah, that's key. That's keeping it real right there, though.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah. we're gonna have to start having those type of conversations. All right, so
like I had to put myself in that space. If you put them both at the combine and see like, yo, what do they measure up like? And I said, even just to put the reference in there, like what if we put in 90s NBA rules? So it's still like it's no easy fouls. I'm still picking Bron. I'm still picking him.
That's a
like
people be coming at Bron like, oh, he couldn't play back then because he always flopping and stuff. Bron being able to punch and stuff back then, that's a big.
Some of them people would be saying would have bullied Bron around. It would have been he would have got bullied by Karl Malone. It would have been a back and forth with him and Karl Malone because he the same size. He just faster. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly. So that's a great because I was about to say that. Ain't nobody bullying Karl Malone.
People sleep on the fact like Jordan had Oakley, then he had Rodman. He had some enforcers in there where like you're not gonna do none of this dumb stuff to Jordan and later tell about we're gonna get you with these elbows and stuff, especially when Rodman came after the Pistons beat him up. Like LeBron would have him an enforcer up in there, man. Like, come on now.
Yeah, mentioning Karl Malone, ain't nobody really tested or tried to bully Karl Malone. So
you feel me? Like
he's literally like dang near the same size in the room.
Right. If
ain't nobody
big, nobody tried to bully the big dudes. The big dudes were just the bullies to everybody smaller than them. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And plus, you saw Lee had changed complete rules for Jordan anyhow. So if they did that for Jordan, and Bron was in that same time, they would have just the same
sort of
thing. This is literally the face of the product. You gotta protect the product, and ultimately you gotta protect that bag. So it would have happened for Bron too, straight like that.
But then I put it on like you think combine like in today's space, today's rules. I can see why somebody might pick Jordan because that's 40 a night. Consistent with today's rule, 40 a night. You out free throwing James Harden every year, like because he's having fun out here.
And he got that 3-point at the tail end of his career. Imagine if he had it the whole career. We might be talking about, even though he wasn't like the most efficient and the best 3-point shooter, but he would have perfected it, I'm sure. Mike, now you're talking about Mike might have dropped 40, 45K in points if he had a 3-pointer his whole career.
Easily.
I tell you this, like Mike is probably the best scorer. Nobody can have that discussion.
Yeah, I can't hold you on that. Even though LeBron gonna pass him, I still say like, nah, Mike is just like if I say your life's on the line, you need a bucket. I need Mike or Kobe shooting that.
There's three people. You might want to throw a fourth one in there. It's Mike, Kobe, and Kareem. Ain't nobody guarding that sky hook. Maybe you want those Shaq in there, but if Shaq, I go to the free throw line.
Most dominant all time. I always say Shaq, most dominant.
Shaq got to shoot a free throw. You might want to get your casket ready.
Right.
You just might want to do that. 3 things you can't live without in this life.
Ooh. Faith, food, and sports, man. Because I think sports that keep life going. Yeah, faith, some food, and sports. Yeah.
2, before we get you out of here again, we thank you. We appreciate you for taking time out of your schedule. What keeps you motivated in life?
What keeps me motivated in life? Ooh, man. I think what keeps me motivated is the idea that no matter how short life is, you have a chance to make an impact that is going to be greater or expand way further than the time of your life even was. So I think that's what keeps me going, knowing that, it takes one small thing, one small action to have an impact on this world that's bigger than you can ever imagine.
Yeah, that's definitely, that ties into that legacy mindset.
Yeah.
It ties into the bigger picture mindset of, any decision made today can really affect when I'm not here. Like Kobe said, I heard himself around Butler this, and was like, start focusing on what you want to do after basketball that's going to be able to be something bigger than you. Mm-hmm. And we see that with Kobe, like his life after basketball. Of course, he was great, but a lot of people was touched by what he did off the court and what he did after basketball. and hearing the interviews and hearing the Mamba mentality, which dang near everybody using that now. Business people, athletes, a chef, everybody using Mamba mentality. So bigger than you, even Nick. A lot of the funniest thing I say with Nick before last question, everybody was like, the marathon continue, the marathon continue. They reposting the interviews and, oh yeah, you know, put your money in the real estate. Yo, Nick was saying that long before he was gone. But the thing is, Drake said it best. Sometimes I'll become a legend once I leave. You'll really understand and miss me once I'm gone. And I think that's where we lack as people. We don't appreciate, we don't value the people while we have them here. And we don't give them their flowers while they're here. You realize, oh, yo, he was actually always talking. He was on to something. Nick wasn't on to something. He been on that. Nick was saying that for years, but people weren't paying attention. People thought it was just music. The man was more about music. So give people their flowers now, man. Appreciate people now. Embrace those moments. Embrace those times, because you never, it can be going like this. Like the life that we live, you never know when your day is. It's not like God be like, all right, by the way, on January 17th, 2045, that's when your time gonna end. You never know. So appreciate those people in your life, bro. Like for real, for
real. Facts, man.
Last one. 5 people that are alive you like to have a meal with.
Okay, 5 people dead or alive I'll have a meal with. It's all them together, like we can all be at the table eating.
All together.
Tupac Shakur, Jackie Robinson, my dad, Barack Obama, and who that 5th one gonna be? Jean-Michel Basquiat. Yeah.
Yo, that's an interesting table.
It's an interesting crew right there, right?
That's gonna be some good conversations right there.
Yeah.
And of course, you bring the fam with you. Pops at the building. He pulled up.
Yeah.
You got Obama. You got Jackie Robinson. That's a lot of history and stories right there.
There you go.
And then you got Tupac, obviously, who was another person, more than music.
Yeah, that's crazy. Whole meal right
I think he would have been really like bigger than life if he didn't pass. Because low key, him doing the acting and stuff, he might have been able to just do that and not even do music no more at the route and the pace he was going. Real charismatic person. But Maso Cotton, BSU, more than an athlete, we thank you for hopping on with us, spending time with us, giving us some knowledge. There's some gems. There's a lot of stuff in there that y'all could take from, not just baseball aspect, but life principles, life things in general, man. But y'all know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.
Peace.